Good morning, and welcome to Bumblebee Junction.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a seed starting mix, and we'll walk you through every step of that as we go. But what we wanted to tell you is one of the things here on the homestead is when we do seeds indoors, we do a lot of seeds. So we're going to do this in a little bit bigger batch than might be practical for some people. And if you're just starting a few seeds and stuff, really just suggest going ahead and buying some seed starting mix. Be careful to avoid things like potting soil mixes and things like that, even working in containers. But if you're doing just small batch seed starting, you're probably better off to just go ahead and buy you some soil, some seed starting soil. But we're going to go ahead and mix up a Bumblebee Junction sized batch of it. It's not that much, but it is enough for our planting needs. So we'll go ahead. We're going to break open some of this stuff. We got it all right here behind us, and we'll get it broke open and mixed up. Now, I'm sure everybody's been waiting all year to see Tina crawl around in some dirt.
And I'm ready to crawl around in some dirt. Yeah.
But guys, we're going to go ahead. We'll get this stuff broke open. We'll show you what we're putting in it, tell you what we're doing, and guys, we'll just go from there. So through the magic of video, we'll be back in just a second with a pile of dirt. Alrighty guys, we got our stuff set out, and one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to start out with peat moss. And there's a lot of discussion back and forth on peat moss, whether it's a renewable resource or not. A lot of people have gone over to using the coconut coir, but right now, from what we've been able to research, the bog management stuff has been going a lot better lately, and they are very close to declaring peat a renewable resource. So guys, we want to start out, our mix is going to be usually 75 to 80% peat moss, and we'll get that broke down a little bit, get the clumps out of it, and be ready to add some other stuff in here in just a second. Peat wants to clump up in you. They put it in those bales so tight it's hard to get it smoothed out.
Yeah, and I like dirt anyway.
Oh. Alrighty, so that's 3 cubic feet, and what we're going to do, that's going to be 80% of our mixture right there. And we'll get Tina to grab the perlite there. That's going to be the next thing we add. And go ahead and put that on there, but let's see how much is in that bag, T?
8 quarts.
8 quarts. That's an 8-quart bag of perlite. So we'll go ahead, we'll spread that around on there. We'll get to mixing it here in a little bit, but we'll just kind of spread it out so it's not all clumped up. But the next thing we're going to throw on is we're going to add some worm castings. Now these don't they don't add a ton of nutrients to the soil. They will help mineralize it some, but they're really good mostly for helping build the soil structure. And that's odd, it looks like it has some wood pellets and stuff in it. But guys, we're just going to add, let's see, how much worm castings was that?
It was
We got Tina to
net weight 4 pounds.
That's a 4-pound bag. So we're going to use a 4-pound bag on there, and really that's in the percentage wise, that's really not going to amount to much. So next thing we got going on is going to be bone meal. Be careful to, when you spread that, to spread it nice and low, because the wind will want to carry it away. It's really powdery, but
And it's a windy day.
yeah, you'll see the smoke coming off of it there. But I believe that's a 3-pound bag. Bone meal is we're using that mostly for the phosphorus and some for the calcium. So calcium helps build the structure of the fruiting plants, and phosphorus, the real reason we're putting it on is for the phosphorus, and phosphorus helps promote root growth. So if you see us, we use a lot of it in our root crops, but one of the things, it's important to have if you're going to grow roots in like a starting soil like this is a lot of phosphorus. Now, next thing we're add is going to be some garden lime, and we're only going to add 2 or 3 handfuls of it. You want your seed starting mix to be somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5. and the pH scale, and the peat moss there is somewhere in the range of 5. So we do have to raise the pH just a little bit if we want to get in that sweet spot for starting plants. So that's probably enough there. She's got on 2 or 3 real good handfuls.
My handfuls.
To her size handfuls. But next thing we're going to add is some Epsom salt. That's going to bring magnesium into the mix, and that's going to help the plants uptake any nutrients from the soil. Now that's not going to be so important when you're starting seedlings, but what it does is when they get to their first true leaves, they're going to want to start drawing nutrients from the soil, and magnesium acts as a carrier to help carry that up into the plant. So want a little bit of magnesium in there. And the last thing we're going to add, we're going to throw in 3 or 4 handfuls of our Job's tomato and vegetable. Now that's a good mix of, I believe it's 274, which is the correct NPK mix for growing vegetables. Now we don't want a lot of nutrients in our soil. A lot of times people will have trouble with their starting soil molding up and stuff. It's usually because they got a whole bunch of nutrients in a soil mix that should pretty much be sterile. So we've got everything that we're going to add to it added to the pile. We'll let Tina get ready here. I'll change camera angles, and she'll mix us up some dirt. So hang on one second. We'll be right back. Alrighty guys, wanted to bring you in close here and let you take a look at the dirt now that we've got it mixed up. And what we're going to do, Tina's got one of her, we use these as feed bags, and we go up and usually get corn for the chickens in them. But what we're going to do normally before you would start setting your seedlings is you would go ahead and pre-wet your soil before you put it in the trays. But since it's nice and dry now, we're going to go ahead and bag this up. We've got several of these white bags, and we'll get this bagged up, and it'll be ready for us when we start making the seeding videos. But we wanted to bring you in, give you one last look. What do you think of the soil, T?
Oh, I love it. Just the smell of spring. Yeah. Love it.
But alrighty guys, we're going to go ahead and get this bagged up and stuff. But Tina and I will be back in a minute to talk to you, and we'll get you guys out of here. So you happy with it, T?
Yes, absolutely.
Alrighty, we'll get it bagged up and we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, that's about going to wrap it up for our seed starting soil. This is our super soil starter mix. So
yep.
Guys, I think you'll be real happy with it. It's something we use every year, so not really worried about it working. We know that it works. But we'll recap over it real quick. You want your starting mix to be as sterile as you can. You don't have to get ridiculous with it, but you don't want a bunch of like cow manure or too much compost. You might have bits in there that aren't composted and stuff. Between that, light and air circulation, those are the #1 reasons people get mold on their started seeds. You don't want a bunch of nitrogen in it. That's a good way to make your seedlings nice and leggy. They'll try to grow too fast and they'll try to run for the most light they can get, but it's not something you really want to deal with. So we've got bone meal in there, so we've got a good phosphorus and we've got some calcium in there. The Epsom will add some magnesium to it.
Yep.
And we got just a little bit of fertilizer. It's an organic fertilizer from Job's, but shouldn't be enough in there to really cause a mold issue. But the worm castings either. They're better for soil structure than they are anything else. But just real low nutrients, sterile as you can get it. And you want to keep it dry until you're ready to use it. So we've got it dry now, and we'll get it all bagged up. And we'll be able to hold it for even a month or so if we need to start plants for the summer garden. So just nice. You can put it up while it's still dry. I know a lot of videos will show you to go ahead and moisten it. You don't really need to right away until you're ready to use it, and don't moisten any more than you plan to use. And certainly don't put anything you've moistened back in the bag. So,
oh, yeah.
But guys, we'll go ahead. That's going to be our video for today. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and let Tina sing us out of here. So go ahead there and say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Don't forget to ring that little bell to let you know when we're out here digging up or mixing up some really cool stuff. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, anything at all on your mind, please leave them in the little box below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget, we love you, and we'll see you in the next one.